Greetings, sentient beings. This stream is not intended for children. There will be strong language and it is definitely an adult theme.
Wait a minute. No children? I have to leave.
Nah.
So, did you do anything interesting today?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Just a long, pointless drive. Oh. Okay, in the side chat we had Doc, and now we've got Ox.
So, we got in our side chat Docs.
Yeah. Okay, Doc Fearsom's working tonight, so he can't come in. But yeah, well, the news today that Jenny and I actually got in hugging distance today, along with Junie.
We spread diseases. Yes, sir. COVID. We spread COVID. I should be more specific. There's all kinds of diseases we can spread, but we limited ourselves to the kind you get with clothes on.
Well, the whole point was to make sure that any diseases that any of us carried get spread across 3 separate states.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in charge of infecting Wisconsin, and Junie's going to take it back to Illinois.
And Illinois deserves, disease. It's just that kind of place. Yeah, we got together. Judy was on her usual family vacation kind of scenario, and they decided to come on up to the Twin Cities and Rochester, Minnesota area because they seem to have some possible interest in living somewhere in this or the state of Wisconsin.
Yep.
And so they were checking it out for real live, and Purple and I took the opportunity to jump on them and do a real live meet and greet.
Yep, and Junie did some artwork for me that was totally unexpected. I had mentioned something on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, and she went and ran with it, and with just like 2 sentences came up with a character concept for one of the characters in my novel.
You didn't show that to me. I didn't get to see that.
Yes, I did.
Did you? Huh.
Yeah, you commented on the eyes.
Oh yeah, that shot. Okay. I thought I was completely blinded by the Egg Foo Young.
Yep. Oh, hey, Hans.
And it was just an absolutely miserable drive. I had to drive to Rochester, and Perp had to drive there from the Twin Cities, and Junie was already there. But it was just neither Perp or I have air conditioning in our cars, and it was just miserable. Just miserable.
Well, yeah, the heat doesn't really bother me as long as the air is flowing, but yeah, we're not used to dealing with air quality issues here. And just the smoke hanging in the air. Yeah, it was really messing up with all my allergies today. So my throat feels pretty raw now.
Yeah, and I'm just plain exhausted. I didn't sleep a wink last night.
Yeah, and I'm on, I came back and I got double doses of my allergy medicine just to try and bring things under control enough that I can sit here and talk.
So we're both on CNS depressants, and it could be any moment that we drop over unconscious.
Yeah, so it's going to be a short one tonight.
And then there was this terrible, poorly marked out detour through downtown Rochester. They're replacing a large section of Broadway, which, if you know Rochester at all, which of
Hmm.
course you don't, nobody does.
Yeah, well, like I
It's
said,
like
that's
the
the
main.
first time I've been in Rochester in 10 years. So,
It's like the main street in Rochester. It goes from north to south. It's a state highway. Um, it's real important. They're completely replacing the pavement, and so it's completely shredded.
yeah.
And the detour was just very poorly marked, and the GPS, which knew there was a detour, which still I don't understand how it knew that. Um, it had me going around six city blocks like 3 times before it said, "Oh, okay, now turn left." It was like I want to fuck with you for a while, and then I'll give you the right directions.
Yeah, I can't. Coming back, I found out there's something wrong with the map in my GPS, that it doesn't seem to understand how the interchange works in St. Paul from Highway 52, how you're supposed to get back onto 35E.
Oh, well, that's kind of a critical juncture in your trip.
Yeah, it screwed me up, so I was in the wrong lane, so I wound up having to basically wound up stuck on 94 going the wrong direction, so I had to go down to 62 before I could turn around. So, yeah, threw me a few miles out of the way.
I don't mind the drive from my little um, town of Houston to Rochester. It was there's some a couple state highways to get to the freeway, and that's about 15-20 miles worth of driving, and then from there it's just I-90 in pretty much a straight line, um, with a few gentle curves that are actually quite attractive, and then you're in Rochester. It's not so bad, but it does take an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was well, it's best part of 3 hours for me because it's like actually for me it's an hour and a half from here into Minneapolis, and then it's an hour and a half from Twin Cities down to Rochester.
Boy, it just doesn't look like that far from where you are to Twin Cities on a map. It's only like a half an inch, so it just look very far.
Yeah, it's about 75 miles.
Boy, that's a big inch.
And basically, I had the choice between, State Highway 10, which has some stoplights, or 94, half of which is under construction. And that's a permanent thing that I was out of the state for 12 years, and half of 94 was under construction 12 years ago. So I have no hope that they will ever complete this.
Well, that's like the Chicago project when they replaced a huge chunk of their downtown through downtown freeway. It just seemed to take forever, but they finally did finish and really made an improvement. It's still annoying as fuck when it's busy, but
Yeah.
it's like
Well, that's why,
aggravation.
and anytime I've had to make a cross country drive, I always time it that I'm hitting Chicago between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. because that's the only time you can actually navigate through there.
And so we got together in Rochester and had a 3 hour lunch or so at a Chinese buffet kind of
Yep.
joint, which was it was decent. It was okay.
Oh, hey, native atheist.
Um,
Yeah, actually, the food was pretty good there.
yeah,
And the lunch buffet, the prices weren't too bad. It was like, $11 each. And they had the Mongolian grill there, so that they had the whole bar of ingredients that you could pick your own meat and vegetables, and then they grilled it up fresh for you. So that was pretty good, and that's something more than you usually get at the buffets.
And then I was oblivious to it because I just tend to be oblivious. But Perp made the point that it looked like the buffet wanted us to get the hell out, and and so we went over to a Starbucks where I had absolutely the
Well,
worst cup of coffee I've ever had in my life. It was just terrible. It was like burnt coffee. It's like it sat on the in the percolator for a couple of hours or something. It was just horrible.
yeah, and considering that's the main thing of their business, you don't think they'd be able to get away with that.
Well, I was close to going back up to the counter and saying, this is atrocious. But I just wasn't in the mood to be a bitch.
Yeah. Well, that's I don't like coffee of any sort. I was just disappointed that basically water was the only thing there that I had any kind of interest in, because it's like even the teas, they all made them weird flavors. I couldn't get anything normal.
I never had tea at Starbucks.
Yeah, well, why couldn't I just get something like a normal, like a black tea, maybe with some citrus flavoring, but it was all like mango and passion fruit.
Damn yuppies.
Hey, B,
BB.
you're awake. Get in here with us.
Yeah, come on in. We need help. We're both really dragging our ass.
Well, we've been sitting talking with each other all day as it is, so
Yeah, and I'm
I think
quite
we've got to
frankly,
run out of topics.
I'm pretty much damn sick of Perp. So
Yeah, I'm pretty much damn sick of me too.
fuck.
Oh. Well, anyway, the topic for this is supposed to be O-Day. I'm not sure if it's safe, if we've gone long enough for me to actually say the word. But every time I put orgasm in the title, YouTube was canceling the stream before it had started.
We should be okay. We've been live for 13 minutes.
Yep.
Orgasm, baby. Orgasm. Oh, my.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny that, yeah, they say that I violated their policy on nudity when the thumbnail only showed a woman from the neck up. And of course I appealed it, and of course they claim that they had a person review it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, you put Johnny on the spot there.
Yeah, there's no friggin' way that any human being actually looked at that. I just got another form letter from a bot.
Well, it's nice to know that even though the morality of the United States has gone absolutely down the toilet, that YouTube is still there to protect us from from orgasm and dirty words and tits and things.
I like, yeah, I like Gox's guesses. Origami, ostrich, Antangelo.
Yeah, that's a shit.
Don't say that too loud. I don't think Antangelo knows I have a channel yet. Hasn't come and bothered me here. Why is Gasm the second choice? I don't know.
So
And of course, since I was gone for well, actually close to 12 hours, I have a kitty who decides he has been severely neglected. So is squawking at me and just thinks that I should not be doing anything but paying attention to him now.
fucking cats.
Yeah. To be fair, he has a legitimate gripe today.
I thought I ate that thing at lunch.
He has been 12 hours with no snackage.
Oh no. Poor deprived creature.
Yeah, all he had was his regular food.
You are absolutely abusive.
Actually, I was thinking about it this morning if I should have just dropped him off at Sloth Girl, but instead I looked at the weather report and it actually said that the temperatures were reasonable, so I thought I'd let him be here, and I opened the window for him, and that was a mistake because now I've got all the nasty smoky air in my apartment. I wish I'd left the window sealed up all day.
Yeah, I turned my air conditioning off today. Thought I'd save some electricity and
Yeah, I had everything shut off while I was gone. I'm actually running the air conditioner now just to filter the air.
mm-hmm.
See, actually, I took apart, one of the furnace filters, that's supposed to be for pollen and allergies, and I taped that over the intake of the air conditioner, so the air conditioner works as a air filter.
That's not a bad idea. It was some show that tries to be clever. They were showing you a way to make your own air filter for your home out of just 5 furnace filters, square shaped furnace filters.
Where did you see that?
I don't know. Remember what it was? Probably some home tips kind of segment on some talk show or something. Maybe what's her name in the morning.
Yeah, I've got to rebuild what I had done for my fiance, which the real simple one was I just I had built a wooden frame for one of those 20-inch square box fans, just so that it would hold the furnace filter, so I could just slide them in behind it.
Well, see, that's what they did with this, except they built a cube out of 5 filters and attached those to the front of the air.
Yep. Oh yeah, now I know what you mean. I had one set up like that too that I had done as a cube, and that was the dust filter from my shop. I had it hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, and so whatever got sucked into the fan got filtered. And they said, well, the average place should last for the whole summer. Um, that kind of thing. Actually, it's kind of a clever idea, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah. My fiance, she had some real problems with the asthma, but she always liked a fan blowing over the bed when she slept. So that's why I had set that up. And it's like, yeah, after I had that running for a week, she was just appalled to see, how much stuff that took out of the air that normally she had been breathing in her sleep. And I mean, cat hair, of course, is one of the biggest offenders, but just just in general, all the pollen and everything.
Yeah, when I had my German Shepherd, she was just a hugely shedding dog. I used to wake up. It's kind of gross. Gross alert! Trigger
Yeah.
alert! Trigger alert! I used to wake up with dog hairs in my nose. You'd breathe and you'd feel these things moving and tickling. You blow your nose and this big lump of dog hair comes out.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't had Kitty coming in here for a while, but was talking to her in a private Twitter group about sewing stuff. So she's doing okay. Oh, and there's Junie.
Hi, Junie.
Hi. Sorry, Junie, that I didn't send you a message as soon as I got back. I should have done that. That was neglectful of me.
Junie, I hope you didn't see my comment in the DM group where I doxed you and told everybody you're 6'4". I apologize. I shouldn't have done that.
Junie, I was showing Sloth Girl the character sketches you did for me. She agrees that you are just way underrating your artistic skills.
In case anybody in the chat does not know, Junie is a very accomplished artist in the anime style,
Mm-hmm.
and draws some of the cutest anime characters and
Yeah.
puts them into background imaging that is very cinematographic, very movie like in the chosen angles and involvement of the background with the
Yeah, and very dynamic action poses,
mm-hmm.
and I mean she really has all the textures and everything right, that the movement of the hair and clothing looks very convincing.
Yeah.
So yeah, she, definitely on the level of any of the great comic book artists as far as for the action poses.
Hey, I just had an idea for a show. Why don't we do one um, where we're covering the art of some of the people. Um, I don't know what fancy name to give people. I don't want to say chat people because that sounds less impressive than they are. But some kind of name for people in the chat who are talented artists and
Huh.
that we could share their work visually and talk about it. Where the idea for this
Well,
was.
that's certainly, yeah.
Why don't you do this kind of shot and that? Of course, I'm using movie language, not boxes. Is that what you call them? Panel.
Yeah, I don't know what any of the proper terminology is.
Maybe we could get that one that I'm a fan of, Azul Crescent, and her strip, which is called "I Want to Be a Cute Anime Girl,"
Mm-hmm.
um, which is just this very tender, loving story um, that's developed. She's a little burnt out right now. She's been at it for a year and a half or so, and once or twice a week with a new strip. Um, so it's kind of on hold.
Yep. And Sloth Girl and Stool are here now. Hello.
Hi, Sloth Girl. Hi, Stool. We invited Stool to come over and have Chinese buffet with us, but something about some plague that's going on and not being able to.
No, he's just too lazy to make the drive across the ocean.
That's kind of what I figured it was.
I mean, I'm sure that he could get some of his mermaid friends to bring him over.
Well, and there's hotels in Iceland and probably Greenland that you could have stopped and hung out at for a day and take a break from the drive. And
Yep.
you would have to drive through Canada, so I understand not wanting to do that. It is Canada after all.
Sloth Girl says he can't swim.
Hmm.
Okay, Stool, get in here and defend yourself.
How can someone who lives on an island not know how to swim?
Oh, B thinks he needs a boat. All fancy now. I'll throw
Yeah.
him a hollow log.
Just get one of those vintage cars that what was the name of that stupid thing? It's a German car. It was half boat, half car.
Yep.
It was always pretty slick.
Oh. Randy, hey.
Hey, how's it
Oh
going?
no. It's okay. How about you?
I just happened. I'm sorry.
I said it's okay. How about you?
Yeah, yeah, same here. I just couldn't sleep. I got up and just made some super sleepy time tea. So hopefully that'll start working pretty soon. So, what's the topic?
The usual. Just talking about stuff in general and tapping into the subject once in a while, which is orgasm. So if you have any great orgasm stories that you'd
Yep.
like to share.
Well, yeah, today is
Um,
international. Today is National Orgasm Day. So the appropriate way to celebrate it is to give somebody an orgasm, or if you don't have somebody who's eager for you to give them one, give yourself one.
And you're sure you're not misreading that it's not actually International Organism Day?
No, pretty sure on that one.
Okay, all right, just checking.
all I know is I've never met an orgasm I didn't like.
Oh, I've had some that were just real lackluster. It's
Yeah.
always been false, but
Well, I mean, there's really no wrong way to have one.
yes, there is. I still feel guilty about some. You know, it's,
Oh.
uh,
Oh, Atheist Echoes. We've
I
got
don't.
somebody new here.
I will. You know,
Oh,
and I bet everybody
hi.
else this too. I will never forget my first orgasm. I mean, it was just like, oh my god, oh my god,
What was that? That's cool.
oh, and I'm supposed to feel bad about this, really? Oh.
I don't know. My
Of course,
first one, I can't really remember that far back.
of course, I was 26, but you know, that was a joke, just to laugh. I was 23.
I've had a couple of people that I gave them their first one.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it's too far back for me to remember.
Did they even invent orgasms when you were that age?
Yeah, I invented them.
Well, the planet thanks you.
Okay. Yeah, Soft Girl is prodding me. What happened with when I was living with my ex in St. Paul. That about the only time we could really have fun was while the kids were at school. So, one afternoon we were just having fun, as it were, and she was a screamer. So, after
Oh, screamer! I thought you said streamer.
yeah, yeah. So
YouTube doesn't
after
want
we
that.
had after we had rested and getting back to our normal activities, I got dressed and I was going out the door to the car, and the guys who were putting on the roof across the street started applauding. So that gives you an idea how
That's
loud she
good.
got.
That would be embarrassing. That would really be embarrassing. Oh man. I wish Doorknob Head was here.
I've had.
Doorknob, tell me
Go
about
ahead.
your first orgasm. That could be an interesting trip, eh?
Right. Thanks, Junie. Good to see you too.
I just
Yeah.
missed the quote.
Oh, you didn't get to see that, Jenny? There you go.
And by the way, everyone, that is exactly what Junie looks like.
Animated?
Well, yeah, and 6'4".
The green hair is a shade off.
Oh.
It was really nice how it blended in so well with her skin color.
Okay, Doc has a point. I have had some orgasms that have left me with a headache.
Aw.
So yes, sometimes it can actually get a bit too intense. That there have actually been times that I've wondered if I haven't had a small stroke from it.
B.
I and I don't know why I'm willing to share this, but I am. I've been having a lot of problems having orgasm for quite a long time, and I was convinced it was because of medication I was taking. I take like 10, 11 different drugs every day, and I started going back and eliminating one drug at a time and to figure out which one wasn't it. And I finally came upon one that when I discontinued it after a period of time, it came back, and it was such a wonderful thing to happen. That oh boy, I'm not broken.
Hmm.
I was just worn out, for a while.
Well, I know that is a frequent complaint of people who have transitioned, that it can be very difficult to orgasm.
Hmm. Interesting.
Well, I see. I didn't consider it difficult. Um, it took longer, but that that was kind of good. I didn't mind that. It was just with some medication, it just reached a point where it doesn't matter what you do, this ain't going to happen.
Wait, it could take longer.
To orgasm, yeah.
Okay, there aren't enough hours in the day then. Hey, I may be easy, but I expect some attention. I mean, even from myself, I'm just not going to accept just a quickie.
I'm absolutely certain that, um, if there was a purpose to measuring how long it takes for you to orgasm, I could outlast any man on the planet. I could outlast any 10 men on the planet in a row.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, we'll
He's got
get you there, Jenny. Just got to run a relay race.
choo choo.
Yep.
Actually, I have more fun giving them. I've never been that focused on my own. It really is a lot more for me the auditory feedback, what kind of noises I can get my partner to make.
I want them to make animal noises. I want them to grunt and snort and all those kinds of things. Act like they live on four legs.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I've gotten the grunting and groaning at times. All right, Philip.
Come on, chat. Let's have some good quotes here. I'm trying to give
Yeah,
you my
sorry, I
best stuff.
Yeah.
need to give Randy a chance to get in now and then. I keep forgetting about his delay.
Well, I really don't have too much to say. I figured I'd come in to say hi for a minute and stuff. You know.
Okay. Well, we're glad to have you here because, Jenny and I were talking all day long, so we've kind of run out of things to say to each other.
Yeah, no
Right.
matter how you enjoy the person you're with, everybody can get really boring after a while. And
Well, you just run out of topics after a while.
I know that I
Right.
usually
Yeah, you do.
find people in that uh, endless stare after about 15-20 minutes with me.
I get that after the first 20 seconds.
I could
And
put
what the hell did that guy just say?
I can put a hummingbird to sleep.
Yeah.
Herp is an O master, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know if she wanted to bring that up for discussion in this community.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
There's another idea for a show. We could play audio recordings of people doing the big O and have a judging.
Yeah.
Somebody wins O master, somebody wins O master cadet. O master sergeant. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ox. I definitely can, go for stretching it out a couple hours.
Yeah, I agree. That way, maybe she'll do the dishes or something before she leaves. Just kidding.
Well, as I've admitted to publicly, that my personal experience in sexual encounters with other humans is nil. Um, I have zero experience, but it seems to me that's a big incompatibility factor with how a man can pretty much get ready to go back to work in 3-4 minutes, and a woman can take a half hour, 2 hours. It depends.
Well, actually, some of the most fun ones have been I've had a couple of people who honestly believed that they couldn't get there just from oral sex.
Oh,
Hmm.
I'm
silly,
always up for a good
silly
challenge.
boy.
I had sex with an alien once. She was
Really?
Swedish.
20's on the dresser, lock the door as you
All the
go.
classics.
Well, see, now this joke might not work because it kind of depends on people being able to go with a pun that's in German. But if you have sex with a woman from Sweden and a woman from um, Germany at the same time, is that like sweet and sour sauce? Or?
Chocolate and
Sorry,
Coke.
I was busy hacking up another organ.
Jeff, we can work with you. You know, we can help accommodate that.
I always say I don't think I want to try to transition or anything because I don't know how to play bass. I'm the harmonica man. I think I'll
And
stick with that.
isn't that transposing, not transition?
No, I'd have to change the name.
Oh,
I don't know, maybe.
Sweet and sour sauce. There you go.
I'm curious.
Ah,
All you cis guys out there. I'm just curious if, and I could imagine nobody wants to actually admit to this. Um, I'm just wondering what percentage of cis guys have ever fantasized, um, which maybe not the right word, but wondered more than would seem a passing thought on what it would be like to go through transition, and whether it's a snap your
oh, I've
fingers
wondered.
or the actual process.
Well, I would really think that most people, have at least to some degree wondered what it might be like to be the other gender. I think it's something that most people must
Yeah, I think so.
entertain at some point in their life.
I always wondered what it would be like to orgasm as a male. That confused everyone. That's
Oh, I got it.
Oh, yeah. Doc saying at the hotel the summer season kicked in and everybody's pretending there was never a pandemic. Sorry.
Hmm.
I think there's going to be a very frightening crash. The, the medical people are starting to say things that tell me that they might have been holding back on how bad it's going to be, and thought that they could scare people into proper masking and distancing and stuff,
Yeah.
and it didn't make it scary enough for people to respond.
Well, I actually think that part of the problem might have been that when it first started, I think they went too heavy on the fear, and just like having people just paranoid about touching anything. So that, then when they tried to dial it back a bit to be more reasonable, that's when people started dismissing it as the whole thing was a hoax.
Oh, I don't
Yeah, and
know.
then they thought they had confirmation.
People were screaming at hoax the first 2 weeks of it,
Yeah.
without even giving
Well, they
us.
were telling people not to touch their own face, for shit's sakes.
Well, but that's a standard. That's a
Hmm.
standard disease theory isolation technique is to not touch your own face, and because that shit happens. It gets into mucous membranes. Touch your face, then you rub your
Right.
eye, and it's in you.
Yeah. No, but I mean, the stuff that they were like basically telling people to like sanitize all their groceries and wash every box that they came into their house,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, even from the beginning, I was feeling that that was a bit ridiculous, that, the chance of a virus actually surviving on a surface very long to, transfer it just didn't seem very likely.
Yeah, I stopped that shit right away after the first time I ate my bleach dipped celery.
Yeah.
It was just terrible.
Yeah, it makes you change your mind real quick. Oh no, this is what I got going on. Native atheist. It's just I grew it out a little bit, and I still got this male pattern baldness going on. So I haven't decided yet whether I want to shave it all off again.
Oh no, harmonica man! There's a light switch or something on the wall behind you, and it's centered perfectly to look like a mohawk.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my little friend. I don't know if you could see him or not.
I
I'm
No.
flipping
Yeah, I
everybody
can't
off.
make it out. There's not enough contrast there.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mother gave me that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, just Jeff was saying about that panic buying of the toilet paper. And yeah, I didn't get that either at the beginning, because unless diarrhea was one of the reported symptoms, why were people so hung up on the toilet paper of all things? I mean, I
Well,
could kind of understand why everybody was like sold out of bleach and hand sanitizer.
toilet paper is a real Western culture thing, and I thought about this back when it started. That people were hearing that this could last a year or more, and that they just had no clue as to what their toilet paper consumption. People were hearing that this could last a year or more. Needed to protect themselves from running. They just had no clue as to what their toilet paper consumption. People were hearing
Oh,
that this could last a year or more.
Hey Mo,
Hey,
I think you need to mute the YouTubes. We got an echo from you.
oh, all right. Yeah. Yep, I hear you. Okay, I just got home from work, so I thought I'd appear for once.
Well, have you had
Yeah.
your orgasm for the day? This is National Orgasm Day.
Orgasm, you know what? Last night when you see, I work a very hard job. I work a janitorial job, and I'm marching around hospital buildings. My feet hurt so bad that I take a hot bath at the end of the night. And about the orgasm, well, I stroked my penis while I was in the bathtub. So there.
I don't know if that's something you want to do at work in that job. You get it caught in that thing that squeezes out the mop. That would really be painful. Or
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, so I just jumped in anyways.
It's National Orgasm Day, so that's what we're talking about.
Orgasm? I don't think I'm a lonely guy. That only happens if I jerk off. So I don't do that every single day.
We've all admitted to stimulating as necessary.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
especially
I
during
haven't
the
made.
pandemic, a lot of people had to do it themselves for the past year.
It normally happens in my dreams that I start beating up my soldier.
Yeah. Yeah. Your friend Atheist Echoes was in here.
Well, she was, huh?
I'm not sure if she's still with us or not. Hasn't typed anything for a while.
Oh well, I don't want to be so fixated on her because she touched my heart because she's making some fucking sad videos about how she's being oppressed by her family. I said, you gotta get a job and get a couple $1,000 to get out of there.
Yep. Yeah, I saw those.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that's
did
It
not.
takes a couple $1,000 and a couple thousand and a job. You
yep.
might get an apartment, you know.
I kind of wish we were the kind of culture that would find it to be perfectly normal for people to spend generations together in the same house, and grandparents, parents, kids.
You know what the problem with that girl is she's raised in a strictly religious family, and then all of a sudden she included atheism, and she's the fucking major villain of the family, like the major black sheep of the
Yeah.
family. So I just kind of felt bad for her.
Yeah,
Well, that's happened to a
terrible.
lot of people in our community that when they left the
Mm-hmm.
belief system that their parents raised them with, a lot of people, really got shunned by their family to different degrees.
Well,
Wonder
my
if they ever had
parents,
an
my
episode of the Waltons doing that.
my parents have been deceased for 20 years, and my grandparents died when I was an infant. So my my parents and my grandparents are all deceased. So I only have my siblings to deal with, and they're all either Trump lovers or Christians, or both. They're Trump and Christian lovers.
God, I cannot imagine what it would be like to be the only blue hat in a red hat family.
Oh, I got a redneck family, and we're in Michigan. It's like Michigan is another Bible Belt.
Yep.
That's the way it is right here.
How
Yeah.
do
Well,
how do the MAGAs take the fact that Michigan is, I believe, if I have the numbers correct, that it's the highest percentage of Islamic population in the country.
I
This is
wasn't aware of
true.
that.
I gotta tell you
Dearborn.
that Dearborn Dearborn is right next door to Detroit because um I got this custodian job where we're gonna travel county to county. We pass through Detroit. Detroit is like um a third world country. It's like a war zone. It's like fucking pathetic. And then once you see the nice houses and the beautiful people, hey, well now we're in Dearborn. You got a little bridge that divides Detroit and Dearborn. You got a massive slum hood like environment, and all of a sudden you go to green acres and green trees and happy people. Um, yeah, we passed up some panhandlers. It's too bad I didn't give them any money. I can't because I just got back to work and I gotta stack up my own money.
Mm-hmm. That's not very much worth it to me to go out there on the corner and play just about anywhere. I don't make any money doing that. I got to get some actual real gigs. Not that I'm panhandling and begging for money. I actually have a performance that I do, you know. But yeah, it's tough on all of them out there right now.
Do you ever go to clubs and just to hear a band and to try to talk to them in intermission and stuff and hook up that way?
Oh yeah, Yep, I've been in places to
I
where it's like, hey, there he is, and then they'd come down on their break or whatever and say, hey, you want to get up and do the last set with us? And yeah, sure, why not? I've done that quite a few
um
times just from being there.
I was I decided one time to move to Florida. I moved to Florida for 2 years. I never got a job. I was homeless for 2 years. Even in the tropical storms, I was like flooded in my tent. But I mean, what I did was when I was in Florida, I never got a job, so I was one of those guys who had their cardboard signs on the side of the freeway. Sometimes you make nothing and get fuck yous, but sometimes you make hundreds of dollars. And then sometimes when I didn't make money, I'd go to casinos. Oh yeah, it's about orgasm day. Yeah, I might have orgasmed if I won $200 at my slot machine.
Yeah, I haven't made any drain babies in a while. Might be about that time.
Dream baby. Oh, dream babies. I get it. I'm a little slow sometimes.
Well, it is very late.
No,
I just called up a former girlfriend from over a year ago. Maybe there might be some kind of action. No.
I've always kind of wondered if there was a way that a person could have, and honestly, it would be a service mostly for men, I'm sure, where men can go and have a guilt-free um, sex session with a person that's not going to cost them a bunch of money, that's not going to that's going to be clean, neat and clean, and not spread disease, and that it was a government
Hmm.
sponsored thing, for men to get it off with a partner, if there would be less issues with crime and different things, based that being based on the premise that partnering and having sex and a partner and all that kind of stuff is important enough to some people that they will do what they have to do to get that, including crime, uh,
Hmm.
to support their habits, so to speak.
Yeah, because there are sex addicts and stuff like that around that.
When I look at your hood that like kind of partially covers your clitoris, I know exactly what to do to you.
Okay.
That's good. Many men don't.
I know my
Yeah.
science, my biology, anatomy. Okay.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Now, would that be with your fingers or with your tongue? Or
Fingers and tongue and everything else. I'll face fuck you.
okay, well,
Yeah.
that's fair. I would hope that your partner is sensitive enough to not suffocate you.
I don't know. I actually have had a 400-pound partner sit on my
Yeah.
face, and I lived through it.
Breathing is
Giant
overrated.
fat ass.
I've never heard it put that way. Living through it.
No, you got a 400-pound woman sitting on your face. You might die.
Breathing is seriously overrated.
know because I put my whole self into it. I'll stick my head up into it. You know.
Well, this conversation is taking an interesting turn.
Oh, pardon me. I had a rough night at work, and I got drunk. That's why I'm talking shit.
Yeah, I figured you'd had a few.
Yeah. I like I found this custodian job, and it's like cleaning hospitals. Not a very joyful experience. But I like the smell of Lysol and disinfectant.
Really?
Yeah,
Gets me off. I love Lysol and disinfectant. When I clean up those hospital rooms with it, it's great because when they come in the morning, they're gonna smell that.
I've always been amazed at
Hey,
clean.
who left? There's 4 people here.
Randy dumped.
yeah.
Oh,
He's got a bad
why?
connection. It happens sometimes.
Didn't he like me?
No,
No.
he has a difficult time with his internet connection. He often drops out
Oh,
and comes back
whatever.
later.
I'm used to people not liking me. What do you think?
Yeah, we're pretty chill around here.
Oh, because I could be an internet asshole, you know.
Oh well, we all can if we try hard enough.
Yeah, okay. Um, fuck. I'm too fucked up to go on, so I'm gonna leave.
Okay, well, you know,
Once I got off from work, I hit the liquor. So,
honestly, if I wasn't having to run the stream, I'd be having a few myself here. But
bye.
okay, catch you later. Ah,
That's the first time I've been on with Mo.
that's only the second time that he's come in here. But yeah, I guess the other night you weren't here that night. He's fairly new here. I've actually, only known him for less than a month.
I'm still waiting for B to come in.
Yeah, I know.
Come on, B, come in and come with us.
Or Jeff.
Jeff's here too. Come on, Jeff.
Yep.
Let's get.
Doc has an excuse. He's at work.
Let's share the big O here.
Yeah, we're going to need somebody else to come in here. We've already talked each other's ears off today.
Well, there are things we didn't talk about. You know, there's other subjects out there like.
Well, yeah, there were some things they would have thrown us out of the restaurant for talking about.
Yeah, well, and stuff that they wouldn't like. How is your model railroad construction project going?
No, I don't do railroad.
Oh, come on, you do that. That's
No, actually, that was a hobby I kind of picked up for a while in high school, but yeah, I really didn't get into because I'm just not that detail oriented. Like I was saying, I really don't have much of an eye for aesthetics at all. I'm used to making things functional and not really caring what they look like. Which has gotten to be a problem for me now that I have to start paying attention to what I look like.
I worked for a year or so, a year and a half or so, with Walthers, which is like the biggest dealer of model railroad stuff. in the country.
Mm.
They've been around since like the 20s, and
Yeah, you'd brought that up one other time.
yeah, I worked in their publishing department.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, the catalogs.
Yeah, this massive 1,000-page catalog every year that takes a whole year to put together. But I'm not a model railroad freak. When I was a kid, at the hobby shop, they would have model railroad setups and stuff like that. And I always thought it was, pretty cool to look at and stuff, but I didn't feel the need to do this myself. It is amazing, though, the dedication and talent some people bring to that hobby. Uh, it's,
Yeah.
I really appreciate their commitment and their skill level.
Oh, yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, like I said, the detail level that some people can do
Mm-hmm.
is just
It's definitely a thing that someone who revels in their OCD should get involved in, because there's so many opportunities to further that pleasure for yourself, and expand and really delight in your OCD, which I don't I call it OCD. That I'm not trivializing it. I think we all have our little OCD things that we do. Um,
no, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I mean, there's guys who and they get kind of chuckled at a little bit in a friendly sort of way in the community, who will actually take a new model that has been introduced by such and such company, and they will count the number and position of rivets, facsimile rivets in the model, and compare that to real life to see if they put in the right
Hmm.
rivets in the right places compared to the actual
Yep.
railroad car. They're called rivet counters, and it's like, well, that's pretty obsessed. Um, but I think mostly of the people who can, build a fake mountain and a river valley and a water feature, and make it just look absolutely real for this miniature thing. It's impressive that people can do that. I used to enjoy the part of my job, which was producing photographs of product, and some stuff would just be shot against a white or a blue background or something, and but other things they wanted to have in a diorama, and and it was always fun setting those up. They were all temporary, so you weren't. It'd only take 15-20 minutes to set something up, but to then shoot it in such a way so that the miniature looks real. There's that technique that you can use with shallow depth of field that helps encourage that deception. Um, and it was fun setting up the little fake bushes and the little fake people and the little fake barrels and whatever it was.
Yeah, well, just some people just get down to really levels that you need a really strong magnifying glass, like doing the facial expressions on the little people and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of these characters, if you're setting up a diorama in HO gauge, the creature that represents a human is at best a half an inch tall to represent a 6 foot human, and that's tough to get any kind of detail on. And then we had this. What was fun, that what developed in the publishing department that was not talked about to the rest of the company, was that we would put Easter eggs in some of the imagery, and text. Um, they always come up with fake names for these businesses. Some of them are just really stupid and corny. But one was called was a shipping company, and they had this big, beautiful warehouse building that they would sell. And the name that was christened for the company was the um, Lost and Found, or no, it was Lost in Shipping Company, Lauston. But of course, when you pronounce it, it's Lost in Shipping. And the staff never picked up on it. But we had some letters from some of the customers that, saying how clever they thought that was, of a joke. Um, Whenever I did dioramas, I'd like, and there's always dioramas of like train stations and, little rural things.
Hmm.
Um, I would always try to do stuff like if there's a box and it's marked this end up, put it upside down. Um, or if there's a guy in the background moving a bunch of shit with a hand cart, half the shit's falling off. Yeah, just goofy little. There's a dog on the railroad tracks. Um, it's just little things for the customer to notice and maybe get a chuckle out of in the catalog.
Yeah, it's fun if you can put in a little joke here and there.
Yeah, I kind of miss it. It would be fun to be doing that some more. I always liked product photography when I was doing commercial work. It
Can
never
we
stopped.
talk about how in the media people into model trains are serial killers or in some way unhinged? Yeah, there is a stereotype for that.
And it's because it's true. um, no,
Well, then how come I didn't get into the trains more?
well, you do the taxidermy stuff. You make those lampshades and things. Um, there's a, there's a lot of very lonely middle-aged men who are into model trains, and I'm sure they're substituting that hobby for a lack of relationships and love in their life, um, which is, a good therapeutic way to deal with that. But it's also really sad that there's people whose lives are so lonely that they have to occupy it with something like that, or any hobby, and that's just not model trains, but guys that are into cars that so much because of that loneliness or lack of relationship, or hunting, or whatever. It's kind of a
Yeah,
sad commentary, but at least they're doing something else that they enjoy. Um,
I would also think that some of that may, go into the undiagnosed autistics. That because that again would be people that might have a difficult time with personal relationships, but then will tend to become very fixated on a single hobby.
that makes sense. I was in the business in a time before autism was something that was talked about or discussed commonly like it is today.
Yeah,
Uh, so I can't tell you what the community would think about that or anything, because it wasn't present at the time.
that's bad. Sloth Girl says I think they'd more likely be uncoupled.
Uncoupled meaning like,
It's a train pun.
oh, I'm sorry, I forgot we're dealing with Sloth Girl. Yes. Sloth Girl, maybe you should get into model trains too. There's some women who do it. it's really rare for there to be a woman into model trains. I don't think I met any more than one woman um, who was actually into it for their own personal hobby in the time that I worked with it, or in stories I heard other people tell. And that
Mm,
it just wasn't a thing that
yeah,
got
yeah, it
involved in.
doesn't seem to be something that girls get into much.
Yeah.
But I also wonder how much of that's just kind of, a social thing. That it's something that a girl would not likely to be getting any encouragement from, and parents would probably tend to steer her away from that.
Well, and I also think women are socialized in such a way that they're more open to different types of relationships. That if they don't have love and singularity, that they're okay with being a volunteer and having a group of women friends and
Hmm.
that sort of thing. That they're going to get personal contact out of some kind of relationship, and men aren't particularly skilled at doing that in other ways other than romance or marriage or something like that.
Yeah.
And of course, that's just all cultural training and one of those things we hope men can get over and be a more fulfilled person. So,
But that's the real reason I'm transitioning, because I had to, in order to become a crazy cat lady.
okay, well, that is one of the requirements for the license. Yes.
I got the crazy and the cat already. Even have a crazy cat, I just keep it stored upstairs at Sloth Girls.
Is that the one with the spike collar?
What?
Is that the one with the spiked collar?
No, just the spiked paws and teeth.
Okay, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, Sloth Girl's cat Petunia.
boy, how much did you have to pay the leather worker to make those custom spiked cat boots and stuff? It was probably a lot, I would think.
Mm, if I tried, I could probably make my own. I started learning leather working at one point. I was able to do some basic stuff. Again, I never got into the detail stuff.
Leather working. That's what they call it nowadays, huh?
Yep.
I've always wanted to do leather working. Every time I watch somebody do it, I kind of think that that's cool, and I'd like to try that.
And there we go again.
What?
Oh, Sammy is headbutting the keyboard to knock it off my lap because he's not getting enough attention.
Mm. You need to learn how to um, what's it called? Hog tie. You need to learn how to hog tie that cat, like they do in a rodeo. No, no, that wasn't
Yeah.
serious for all you cat lovers out there. That was just a very poorly tasted joke.
Oh, I'm pretty skilled at stuffing him into a backpack quickly. No, I actually do. I've got have a backpack that the whole front is a clear plastic bubble. That's a cat carrier. So I can put him in there and he can still see out, and it's got vents through the sides.
Hey, Kate, Bionic Dance says she had something like that. I think it's a backpack, not a front carry. But
Yep.
I first time I saw it, I was concerned about um, thermal gain under the glass, so to speak, like a greenhouse effect.
Yeah, it's got a decent amount of venting. You know, it wouldn't be any worse than the plastic cat carriers.
Mm.
But yeah, just because of the rules of the building, and because Sammy will not wear a collar or a harness, that even just to take him upstairs, I have to, put him in some kind of a carrier. And, it makes sense because, yeah, if somebody's bringing their dog in, I could see that, the dogs start barking at him and him panicking and that. So I have to be able to make sure I could hold on to him if he gets startled by something like that.
Jeez. I'm just watching
Yeah,
the
Sloth Girl's much more detail oriented for doing the craft patterns and that.
currently some American won the silver medal in the 200-meter backstroke. Wow, I never knew they had a 200 for competition.
When we were in the restaurant, I could see there was a TV there, and I saw that they had some swimming competitions on. I didn't quite know what was going on.
I was a very poor quality high school swim team person, and backstroke was, I did the 100 backstroke, and well, they gave me all the garbage races because I was gonna lose anyway. So um, I got the ones nobody else wanted to do. I always liked the backstroke ones.
Yep.
There's an amazing amount of power that you can put into the backstroke and really feel like you're swimming hard with how much pull you can create.
Oh. Yeah, Sloth Girl is mentioning real Cirrus. I wonder if I've got pictures. For people not familiar with Cirrus's channel, get back. I've got her. I don't think I have a picture, but yeah. Sloth Girl made a crocheted doll of Cirrus that we sent to him.
Oh, really? How cool!
Yeah, and even now, if you see any of his streams lately, that even when he's got the cartoon avatar on, you can see the little doll sitting on the desk there. So, it's in all of his streams now. I thought I had some pictures of it in my computer here, but now I can't find any.
Here's my Sloth Girl creation. And I love this hat, keeping the ears so warm.
Yep.
That's all you get to see. Because I'm naked, people. I don't want to be dressed. That's why we're on Avatar.
Yep. Antura's asking about the Simone Biles thing. I don't really know much about it. I heard about it when it happened, and I know it's, creating all sorts of memes, but
I can't believe that there's people who are so cold-hearted and ignorant that they call her a quitter because of that.
yeah, well, you don't get in the Olympics by being a quitter.
Yeah, this woman has put in the last 20 years of her life into this and is the world's best ever. How can you even think that to call her a quitter? It's So stupid.
And I'm not going to speculate on what was going through her head, but that it has to be something really extreme, because how heartbreaking would that be to actually arrive there at the Olympics and feel that you can't finish when you're that close to the end?
Well, I heard an interview with her and some of her teammates, and they all say the same thing, that at that level of competition that they're at, you have a moment of distraction and you can kill yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, yeah, I look at gymnastics and it's scary enough that I believe that's true. I don't
Yeah,
want
I'm sure. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but um, basically she pulled herself out of the competition, and she just said it was for mental health reasons.
yeah, that she's just feeling too stressed, and her head just wasn't in it at the time, and she didn't want to hurt herself or drag the team down with a bad performance.
Yeah.
And that sounds perfectly valid to me. And she's also one of the women who uh, is a surviving victim of that uh, absolutely sick in the head physician who was assaulting all those women. And
Oh, okay. I didn't know that
yeah, this
that
guy
she had been working under him.
who assaulted a couple hundred different women,
Yeah.
and that sure fucks with your head too. So yeah, this is
Yeah,
one
that
tough,
was
tough.
definitely a huge abuse of power thing.
She was one tough cookie, and if she says she needs a break, she needs a break. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to question her. And she's such a cute little bug of a person. She's so tiny. It's amazing, and to be that powerful. Wow. I love how the direction that some women's gymnastics has been going. Um, ever since that one, and I can't remember her name, but I'm sure everybody remembers that the floor routine, the college student from UCLA who did the floor routine that just lit the internet up on fire. It was just such a good routine, and just felt so her, that it just came from her heart so much, and it was attractively beautiful to watch, and you can just feel the spirit of it all the way through.
Yeah, I think I know the one you mean, though I'm horrible with names.
A couple of other floor exercise women have done that too now, to just really let themselves go with it, and it's changed the complexion of what it looks like. I always thought that floor exercise, although technically advanced and scary and very skilled to do it, it was just kind of boring, but not anymore. It's not boring at all. There's not much you can do with a vault and a spin and a twist, um, except make it higher and longer. But the floor exercise, it's like creative dancing, and they've just gotten very, very good at it, or very, very new in the style. I don't know. I'm just babbling here.
Yeah, I don't pay much attention to athletics at all, so I don't have much to say on any of the Olympic stuff.
Yeah, it really bothers me how oh god how much some people will sexualize women's gymnastics, even if it's at the high school level. How dare you? um, yeah, we're all adult and we understand why you or how you can do that, and what you see and how you choose to interpret that, but you don't have to broadcast it. you
Hmm.
know and I'm not talking about a broadcaster, but as a person, you don't have to explain to us why you're so turned on by some high school kid doing gymnastics. Keep it to yourself and maybe go get some therapy. These are skilled people who are.
Well, and unfortunately, that happens to girls in just about any sport.
Yeah,
That just
yeah,
men get real pervy about watching young girls.
yeah, and the sports don't help it at all. Like with the uniform little upheaval that happened with what was that, Norway or beach volleyball team.
Yeah,
That they want them to wear bikini bottoms instead of short shorts, and they refused, and so they got all disciplined and stuff. And it's like, wait
yeah,
a
and I don't understand, how that happened or how, the Olympic Committee didn't see how that was going to look on them.
Yeah, see, I don't know who made which decision, or which body was, being the stupid bad guy in this. I just know that the women were.
Yeah, but I mean, it's an example that, how could that have been read as anything other than sexualizing the women? That they actually were penalizing them for wearing too much clothing.
Yeah, and it's. I just have always felt, yes, seeing a woman in a bikini, they're very attractive, and it's, in most cases, a very sexual outfit to wear. But even if I was slim and trim, I would not be out in a bikini. I have more modesty than that.
Mm.
A one piece suit is plenty for me. Um, and again, I understand why some people would choose to wear them, and want that kind of attractiveness with other people, but it's real uncomfortable to be in your underwear in public. you know? Which is basically what a bikini is.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of bra and panty sets cover more than a bikini does.
Yeah, yeah. And then if you yank off your hoodie and you're wearing a fancy bra under there, you get penalized for that. Well, what about a bikini? Somebody can walk around all day downtown wearing a bikini top,
Yep.
and they don't get arrested. But if you're in a bra, the police are going to come and hassle you. It's like, how stupid are you?
Yeah, it just shows how arbitrary the standards are.
Yeah. Randolph was talking about, in Canada there was a civil discrimination suit brought against the government. A woman had been arrested for being topless, and she sued the state or the province for discrimination, because
Hmm.
men are allowed to be topless anytime they want, as for how long they want. Why can't a woman? And it was decided in her favor.
There have been a couple of those in the U.S. too, and some cities. I want to say that there was one in Portland about that, and that they decided that, yeah, there really wasn't any justification for a woman being considered indecent for going around without a shirt. And that, if men could do it, they had to allow women to do it as well.
Hmm. Yeah, and then the double standard of men wearing a speedo, and they got this big ass um, tool bag in front of them. But a woman wearing that sort of thing is perfectly okay.
Yeah.
It goes both ways. And no, I don't want to see a man in a speedo. just don't need to look at that. But if one gets to do it, the other should get to do it.
Like Sloth Girl saying, we live in a society where women are fined for wearing too many clothes and girls are suspended from school for wearing spaghetti straps.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, one of the best responses I saw to that was there was a case of a girl who was suspended from high school because they said that that her shorts didn't meet the high school standard. That the fingertips were supposed to reach down, or if your fingertips reached down below the bottom of the shorts, they were considered too short.
Uh-huh.
But they demonstrated that the cheerleader outfits that the school issued did not meet that standard.
Oh yeah. When and I was in high school when these various values were first beginning to change. When I entered high school, a girl would be suspended and sent home if she wore pants. A teacher, Miss Homley, who was just this beautiful second year teacher. So she was like 22, 23. She was sent home once because her skirt was more than 3 fingers above her knee when she was kneeling. That was the measurement criteria. And then by the time I got out of high school, girls were wearing halter tops to the class and mini skirts, and no teachers got sent home for what they were wearing. It was just in that span of 4 years how completely 180 the values and stuff went. It was just an interesting time. and the drinking age went from 21 to 18. And now there's just so many people who want, even after this long, 40, 50 years, they still think they need to push back against that and bring the 1950s skirt lengths and stuff back as a requirement. Oh, here's a little interesting news blurb that's going across the bottom of the screen. Scientists say that dogs can tell when humans are lying.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me that, for the thousands of years we've lived together, that humans have figured out how to read some of the body language in that.
Pretty soon dogs are going to be able to not only tell when you're lying, but give you the finger.
Well, right now they just give you the tail. I'm back. Okay, was just trying to move things up. What? Okay, let's see. June says, from what I gather, Biles dropped out for medical reasons, and some Trump supporters are calling her a quitter for it and saying that she should do more for the country.
Probably said by some guy with a gut hanging a foot and a half out in front of him.
And I heard that she won the qualifier with broken toes. Oh, so she actually had a physical injury while she was still out there. Okay, good night, Jen.
Jen, you're leaving? Bye-bye, honey. I have been following the Olympics because I'm also just not a giant sports junkie. But I heard the women's soccer team lost a game. Really? Did that really happen?
Yeah. I don't know anything about that. What's the practice of making women and girls get on their knees to prove their skirts are long enough? Is degrading, pet, paternalistic, and smacks of sexualizing them. I'm not familiar with what is that. Making
Well,
them kneel down is somehow a test of their skirt length. I don't know how that works.
well, that was they needed to standardize how this measurement is made. Um, like I can remember people saying, "Well, and they were making the measurement from the bottom of the hem to the bottom of their knee, where the tendon comes in, or some are making it to the top of the kneecap,
Hmm.
and so they standardized the measurement that you kneel down, and wherever that kneeling occurs, that's the floor is the
Oh, okay.
space from where the measurement is made. And which, if you're going to have a stupid criteria, I guess standardizing it makes sense. But I completely agree with Jer on that. That's
Yeah. Well, and just the whole business with that they say it's like too distracting to the boys or that. And it's like, so instead of penalizing the girls, you should be teaching the boys, you know, just to pay attention to what they're supposed to be dealing with.
yup. I can't remember her name, but there's this Asian woman who's a PhD. I think she's a psychologist, psychotherapist. I don't remember for sure if that's what her credits are, or qualifications are, or training, whatever. But she's on TikTok a lot, and people import her one videos to Twitter and stuff a lot, and Instagram. She's just she's brilliant, um, and her subject is always um, the ill treatment of women in society, whether it's sexism or making women victims by raping them and then blaming them for it, and all these kinds of issues. And she knows her stuff. There's no question about it. And one point that she seems to make over and over and over again, but from different angles because it's so true, in my opinion, um, is to not stand there and say, how can we train women to avoid these situations and protect themselves and work together, and don't go out and alone, go out in groups, and instead of doing all that, um, to put the responsibility where it belongs, on men,
Yeah.
and just say, you know and she tries to extend it to all men, not just the offenders, but that her saying is, um, it it's the men, okay. It's not this kind of man or that kind of man. That when you get into a discussion of it, one of the first things that many men will say is, and we've all heard it, is, um, well, but we're not all like that. Well, yeah, everybody knows that you're not all like that. But if you're letting men around you, as a man, tell jokes that revolve around rape, or revolve around um, power, or dehumanizing women, or marginalizing women, you're part of that culture that encourages that behavior or allows that behavior to fester. and that no, you're not one of those people who will do that rape or that assault, but you have a certain level of responsibility for allowing it to continue. That if you're a man and you're not standing up and saying, I don't want to hear that shit ever. Stop
Hmm.
talking like that. You are wrong for talking like that. Don't let
Yeah.
your kids talk like that. That you're part of the problem. And yeah, maybe it's not as serious a part of the problem as the actual person who's doing the assault, but you can't deny that bridges connect islands.
Yeah. But yeah, men do need to face each other with that. That, you know, you, you hear another man saying that, and you should ask them, how would you feel if somebody was saying that about your daughter or your sister?
Or you, if you were a woman.
Well, that's probably a bit more of a stretch than most men could make, but
Yeah, I suppose.
Sloth Girl says, don't mess with me. I cross stitch, which proves I have the patience to stab something thousands of times.
I love it. I'm working on. I don't know if I want to share this publicly. I've been working on. I bought a cross stitch, and it's this very mega-ish um, scene of like a farm in a rural setting, and instead of there being corn on the hills, there's an American flag that covers the terrain, and a flag flying in the background, and it says some kind of patriotic crap on it. And I bought it because I would like to change it from whatever propaganda it says to instead using Mona Elthway's fighting slogan of "Fuck the patriarchy."
Hmm. Yeah.
and I would like to do that, and I would like to give it to her as a gift.
Okay. And yeah, Sloth Girl got me a picture. Here's real Cirrus.
Oh, that's so cute. Aw.
Yep, he's even got his own little wooden hammer there that she did all the detailing on.
I can't see it. It's too small for me. Let's see if I can zoom that there. Oh yeah, that's much better. And that's a necklace. Yes.
Make it a
And
little bit larger there.
wearing a hoodie.
Yep.
And is that some sort of ethnic hoodie or Renaissance kind of uniform or fantasy kind of.
Yeah, it's a fantasy thing that Cirrus's his original avatar was like a hobbit-like character.
Okay. I love the nose. That's an actual built up stitch, isn't it? It's not
Yeah.
it's not a button.
Yep.
That's really cute.
Um, she used the plastic safety eyes, but other than that, all the facial features are just stitched in.
I love googly eyes. That's really neat.
Yeah, and even like you get even the belt buckle here is this. It's like a runic character that he had on his.
Okay, yeah, the little spiral thing. That's neat. I wish I was that creative.
Yeah, and that's the basic doll pattern was something that she had bought the pattern for the basic doll, but the whole outfit she came up with herself.
Very cool. I was at lunch today. I was um, whining to Perp and Junie about how much talent I lack when it comes to artistic things and the ability to draw. It's
Well, same here. I'm not artistic in anything. The closest thing I get to an artistic talent is writing. I'm a decent storyteller. So
yeah.
Sloth Girl also threw up a couple of funnies with it. I told you to bring a couple of ribeyes home for dinner.
Uh, uh, oh, that hurts. I love ribeye. Oh,
When an eel has a maw with a pharyngeal jaw, it's amore. When the jaws open wide and there's more jaws inside, that's amore. When it sulks in a reef and has two sets of teeth, that's amore. When an eel bites your thigh and you bleed out and die, that's amore.
when I first learned about moray eels, they scared the fuck out of me and made me never want to go in the ocean.
Yeah, well, I guess that's where they got the concept for the alien thing, the xenomorphs from the alien movies, of having the little mouth that shoots out.
Oh, a moray actually has that?
Yeah.
Ew.
Well, yeah, yeah, see that's what the picture here is showing. That you've got.
Bring that back. I want to zoom in.
Yeah. That's I zoomed it in as best I could, but yeah, that's they actually have the set of jaws that have these little serrated teeth on them, that when they open their mouth fully, this actually shoots out. So it shoots out, in front of their jaws for them to catch small fish.
Damn. A killing machine.
Yeah, and weird. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I did stop. I gotta bring that back up on the screen for you. I'm sorry.
That's all right. It's your show. Do what you want.
There you go. No, I was trying to show it with my cursor, and I didn't realize it wasn't showing to everybody. But yeah, see, yeah, this in here.
Pharyngeal jaw. Interesting.
Yep. Yeah, and this is set up on these ligaments so that, when it opens its jaw as wide as it can, the ligaments force this to shoot out.
Damn,
Yeah.
That's extra scary.
Yeah, nature has some really terrifying shit.
Yeah, well, Republicans, it comes from somewhere,
Oh, Sloth Girl says it doesn't actually come out.
Oh, so it's just like an extra jaw inside, so that if they grab a fish or something, that it's just like an extra holder.
Yeah.
Once it's
Yeah, extra gripping.
Yeah, well, that's still fairly terrifying. You're glad they're much smaller and not like whale sized. Did you know that sharks have an unlimited supply of teeth that they continue to regenerate for the rest of their lives?
Yep.
No matter how old they get fresh teeth. I'd like to get a fossil of a megalodon tooth. The shark teeth is like 4, 5, 6 inches on each side of the triangle.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring some more pictures up here, so give me a moment.
So I've decided, yeah, after today, I'm definitely going to start wearing a mask again full time.
Oh, okay. I think it's a good idea. Like I said, I still wear one when I go in the stores. Oh, hold on. I'll just keep people busy for a bit. I'm getting up some pictures of some Sloth Girl's other creations here.
Okay, I'll turn on my camera and start picking my nose. That'll interest them.
Yeah, why not? I don't have to look at it because I'm busy in another window.
And I don't have to look at it because I can, close my eyes and do it just by touch. It's oh.
Ah,
God, am I getting tired here? Well,
there we go.
we've almost gone 2 hours here. How about that?
Yep. Okay.
What did she send us?
Hmm.
It better not be
She's
a
saying,
punk.
look how cute the blue ring octopus is and how deadly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are scary little fuckers, too.
Remember, you can pick your friends and pick your nose, but don't pick your friend's nose.
See, I've always wondered why that's such an important thing. Why can't I?
Well,
If
especially
your
like
friend is consenting nose picking, it should be okay.
if your friend has been in an accident and they're knocked out with a broken nose, you should be able to go to the rhinoplasty and tell them what they would want. Yep.
What?
I had to go too far for that one.
That's a real reach. I didn't get it.
Rhinoplasty, the plastic surgeon for them to rebuild their nose.
Yeah.
That you could pick their new nose.
Oh, that kind of picking. That's the wrong kind of picking, but
Okay. Here's some of Sloth Girl's other creations.
aw.
Some of the other little dolls she did. The cowgirl.
Is the cowgirl someone specifically?
No. Nope. And Cthulhu Carl. And the fisherman here, which you can see, won a first place and the judge's choice ribbon in the fair
No kidding.
where we were living in Michigan. Yep.
Well, the Minnesota State Fair is coming up.
Yep.
That's a big thing up in your neck of the woods.
Yeah. She says she's not really ready for it this year, but yeah, she's definitely going to have some stuff that she can get some stuff in the county fairs next year and still be able to get it back in time to get into the state fair.
What I think would be a virtually guaranteed first place ribbon is if you did an entire library of every president we've had, from Lincoln to the fat orange loser.
That would be an awful lot of work. I'm
Yeah,
not sure how many hours each of these take, but yeah.
But think of how much fun it would be to actually do the Trump, the Trump facsimile and make it out of actual Dayglow orange.
Yep.
With a big fat belly and.
Yep. Here's a bit more. The fisherman. I mean, this was really the level of detail she did on this.
Oh yeah, you've even got this.
She's got the fishing rod with little crocheted reel.
Well, and his fish pack there for
Yep.
putting the. Were there actually fish in there? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just several different crocheted fish there. He's
Oh
got
yeah,
one on the
yeah.
line here.
When I zoom in, I can see the reel. So he's a fly fisherman.
Yep.
Is the lure on the thing like a real facsimile of a fly fishing lure, or is it just like a hook?
Well, it's a hook with a crocheted worm on it.
See, that reel that you're using and that rod setup, that is a fly fishing setup, and so that hook with a worm is the incorrect bait for that type
Okay.
of rod system. You need to have one of those flies that looks like an insect, with wings or hairs and stuff that they float on the surface.
I would have never known that. Oh, and this was another one she did. That this got another first prize ribbon.
Oh yeah, this is your penis dog.
It's a ballerina elephant.
Oh, whoops.
It's a pink. It's an elephant in a pink tutu.
Oops, sorry. I knew it was an elephant.
And then I love this one.
Oh, it's an otter.
Yep. She crocheted a little otter.
Boy, you really are talented with that.
Yep.
Are we still
Ow,
here?
ow.
Burp, you still there?
I am just checking if that is enough perforations from my ankle to be removed now. Sammy has that thing about not being able to retract his claws and just did a tap dance on my ankle.
Okay. I thought.
So yeah, I am bleeding from several small punctures.
Yeah, I love cats.
Oh, I love him. Yeah, he helps me. I don't think I could live with another human, but I don't like the idea of living alone, so.
I don't hate cats. I've had a couple of cats before in my history. But I hate litter boxes so much. I just don't want to have to live with a cat. They're just so disgusting.
Yeah.
Feces in human waste is what kept me out of finishing nurses school, and it's just too much for me. Which is really weird because I can completely deal with the smell, the rural smell of manure on the field when they lay it out twice a year.
Yep.
Oh, did you hear Rick rolling? That video has joined the 1 billion views club on YouTube.
I didn't know there was a specific video.
Yeah, the actual music video of what's his name, Rick, whatever his name is, his actual video of that song.
I didn't know there was a video of it. I thought it was just a reference to the animated show.
No, it's an actual video of the, or portion of the actual music video for the song. I love Rick rolling. I every time I get fooled by it, I laugh at myself. It's fun. It's a great internet gag that just goes on and on and on.
Okay. Back. Sharing. Yeah. And this was a. She did the Mad Hatter's hat, the Tea Party from Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, yeah. I see the tag
Yep.
now.
So, and yeah, you've got
Jeez.
the white hair in the teacup, and well, you can't see it too well in this picture, but down on the side here is the pocket watch.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and this picture doesn't really do it justice. She had a lot of great detail on that.
I like the little bunny rabbit. I want a 2 foot tall bunny rabbit.
A 2 foot tall bunny rabbit.
Yeah. Actually, I'd like a 6 foot one and could name it Harvey, but I would never be able to keep it. Does anybody know that reference?
I didn't quite hear you.
I said I'd like actually like a 6 foot rabbit and name it Harvey. And I just realized that that's one of those generational comments.
I get the reference, but I didn't see it. No, huh?
Holy shit! They just showed a surveillance video of a bus versus SUV accident in the Bronx, and this bus goes headlong into a elevated railway um, beam. I have a
Oh,
I have a
as Sloth Girl was saying, that yeah, for cats, if you do the litter box every day, and if you give them good quality food, there really isn't any noticeable smell.
um. It's not just the smell. It's just I really don't like poop. I don't
Okay. Good night, Sloth
like.
Girl.
Good night.
Thanks for sharing your stuff with us.
Yeah. I have a complaint about mainstream TV. I can't believe that there's enough of an audience that they think it's a good idea to broadcast the entire NFL draft and now the NBA draft. It just, I just shake my head. Good lord, how much more boring could you make a TV show?
Well, it kind of depends what, is this on like one of the network channels or?
Yeah, ABC.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 hours of coverage on it. Throw out a whole day of programming just to put that on. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I mean, I could see it on ESPN because, they've got so many channels now. They're just looking for anything to fill space.
Tiddlywink Nationals.
Well, they've gotten to putting on, poker.
Well, see, now I've watched poker on TV, and it's kind of neat because they can show you each player's hand, and so that's kind of neat to see, and see how people's logic unfolds. I wouldn't watch it a lot, but it's been one of the better time wasters out there. But I don't consider it a sport. I got to do my calisthenics for my 7-card draw.
Okay, well, it's been a long day, so I think we'll just wrap it up here.
Well, it has been a lovely day.
Yeah, it was great to finally meet you to the point that we could actually touch.
Well, 12 hours with Purple is pretty special.
Well, you weren't with me the whole 12 hours because I spent 3 hours. Well, yeah, I spent half of that time driving. But yeah, we had a good day of it. I got to see some more of Junie's artwork that she brought the draft of the graphic novel she's working on.
Now remember, I made you promise that you're not allowed to tell the viewers how fat I really am. Remember that? Just don't forget.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You've got to quit that. I mean, when you stepped behind the lamp pole, I couldn't find you anymore.
Yeah, but it was one of those 300-foot tall lampposts, so it's really big on the bottom. It's like 6 feet.
Well, anyway. Oh.
Well,
so
good night.
We'll be doing movie night tomorrow night, of course. Although I'm not quite sure what time she's planning to start tomorrow night.
Well, the usual time is 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central.
Okay. So you have anywhere else you'll be showing up this week?
Well, I'm hoping I don't get arrested. And I was thinking maybe it's time to try my bike again.
Well, the best way to avoid being arrested is to stop committing crimes.
Yeah, well, how fun is that?
Well, and it's not entirely reliable either.
That's true. I mean, you can get busted, beat up, tossed in the hooskow for absolutely nothing.
Yep.
Nowadays.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, well, with that, then. Oh shoot! I was not being good on the stream. I wasn't updating the description with the topics we covered.
Mm.
Oh well, everybody will have to put up with the random grab bag this time. So, just in closing, I would like to thank all the people who are supporting me on Patreon. Greg Hartwick, the Lavender Lady, Robert X, Ox, Junie, Vonrick, and Utah Outcast. I appreciate these people, sending me a couple bucks a month and paying for the StreamYards here so that, we can keep doing this every week.
And I appreciate the chat very much, that they are willing to tolerate me and my repetitive and bad jokes. It helps keep me sane.
And we appreciate the input from the side chat, the jokes, the irrelevant comments, and occasionally interesting questions.
Mm-hmm. Many times the chat is absolutely brilliant in their humor, and it's lots of fun to interact.
So with that, we will say good night all, and I'm going to hit the little red button up here.
Good night.